They say loyalty is a virtue. I say it's a weapon. And I've been sharpening mine for 8 years. My name is Matt Gaetz. You know me. You hate me or you love me, there's no in-between. And that's exactly how I designed it. But what you don't know is the price I paid to become Donald Trump's most loyal soldier. What you don't know is that every time I walked into that camera light, every time I defended the indefensible, I was making a bet. The highest stakes gamble in American politics. And I almost won everything. Let me take you back. November 2016, Trump Tower. The air smelled like expensive cologne and victory. I was a young congressman from Florida's Panhandle, nobody important, just another Republican face in a sea of suits. But I saw something that night that changed everything. I saw how the game was really played. While other Republicans whispered their doubts about Trump in private, I made a different calculation. Loyalty. Pure. Absolute. Unquestioning loyalty. Not because I believed every word, please. I'm not naive, but because I understood the currency of power in the new Republican Party. And that currency had Trump's face on it. Matt, you're making a mistake. My colleague told me in the Capitol bathroom one morning in 2017. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, casting harsh shadows on his concerned face. This loyalty thing. It's going to burn you. I smiled at him in the mirror. Or it's going to make me untouchable. The first test came during the Mueller investigation. While senators hedged, while respected Republicans crafted carefully worded statements that criticized Trump without quite criticizing him, I went on Fox News and said what Trump wanted to hear. Not what was politically safe, not what focus groups recommended, what he wanted to hear. The phone call came at 11:47 p.m. that night. Unknown number. I answered anyway. Matt, it's the president. I saw you tonight. You're a fighter. We need more fighters. My heart pounded so hard I thought he could hear it through the phone. This was it. The payoff. But here's what nobody tells you about loyalty in Trump's world. It's not a contract. It's an auction. And you're always bidding against someone willing to go further than you. January 6th, 2021. The Capitol smelled like tear gas and rage. I was in the chamber when they breached the doors. I heard the screaming, saw the fear in my colleagues' eyes as they crawled under desks. And that night, when we reconvened to certify the election, do you know what I did? I objected to the electoral votes. Because loyalty doesn't pause for insurrections. Loyalty doesn't flinch when democracy is bleeding on the marble floors. Loyalty is absolute, or it's nothing. You're insane. A Democratic colleague hissed at me as we voted. People died today. And the people who voted for Trump deserve a voice, I shot back. But my hands were shaking, not from fear, from the adrenaline of knowing I'd just crossed a line most Republicans wouldn't touch. I'd just become indispensable. Trump called me a warrior the next day. I'd never felt more powerful. But power in Trump's orbit isn't stable. It's volcanic. And I was about to find out just how hot it burns. Fast forward to October 2023. Kevin McCarthy's speakership is hanging by a thread, and I'm holding the knife. People ask me why I did it, why I orchestrated the first speaker removal in American history. The official reason? He made a deal with Democrats. He betrayed conservative principles. The real reason? I'll tell you the real reason. McCarthy forgot the first rule. Trump comes first. Not the party. Not the institution. Not conservative principles. Trump. When McCarthy started making moves that Trump didn't approve, when he started acting like he had power independent of Mar-a-Lago, he signed his own political death warrant. I was just the executioner. The vote happened on a Tuesday. The chamber was electric. You could taste the tension like metal on your tongue. As I walked to the microphone to cast my vote to vacate the chair, I caught McCarthy's eye. He looked at me with this mixture of rage and disbelief. He thought we were friends. He thought loyalty to the institution mattered. I vote yes, I said. My voice didn't waver. McCarthy was gone within hours, and Trump called me that night. You did what others were too weak to do, he said. I don't forget that kind of loyalty, Matt. I should have heard the warning in those words. I don't forget. Not, I'll reward you. Not, you're in the inner circle now. Just, I don't forget. November 2024. Trump wins. And suddenly, impossibly, my phone rings with an offer I never imagined. Matt, the president-elect wants you for Attorney General. My hands went numb. Attorney General. The position I'd dreamed about since law school. The ultimate prize. Not just power, legitimacy. Respect. A place in history. For 8 years, I'd burned every bridge. Alienated every moderate. Defended every controversial statement. Backed every conspiracy theory. I'd made myself unelectable to normal politics. I'd bet everything on Trump. And now, finally, the jackpot. The announcement came on November 13th. Social media exploded. Democrats were apoplectic, exactly as planned. But here's what scared me. Republicans were silent. Not supportive. Silent. The Ethics Committee report. That's what they whispered about in the hallways. The investigation they'd been conducting since 2021. Allegations of sexual misconduct, drug use, improper gifts. All of it documented. All of it waiting. Matt, you need to withdraw. My lawyer told me on day 3 of the nomination. We were in my apartment, blinds drawn. Outside, protesters chanted. Inside, my phone wouldn't stop buzzing with texts from senators who'd promised support, but were now having concerns. I'm not withdrawing, I said. Trump picked me. That's all that matters. The votes aren't there, he said quietly. Even Republicans are going to vote no. The ethics report is a partisan witch hunt, I interrupted. Trump survived worse. I'll survive this. But here's the thing about loyalty. It only works if the other person needs you more than you need them. Day 5. I'm in Mar-a-Lago, meeting with Trump. The room smells like golf course grass and expensive leather. He's sitting behind his desk, looking at his phone. Matt, the senators are spooked, he says without looking up. The ethics thing. It's becoming a problem. Sir, I can fight this. I know you can fight. He interrupts, finally meeting my eyes. You've always been a fighter. That's why I picked you. But sometimes the smart play is a tactical retreat. Tactical retreat. Political speak for, you're finished. Are you asking me to withdraw? My voice sounds strange, distant, like it's coming from underwater. I'm saying do what's best for the team, Trump says. And there it is. The team. Not do what's best for you. Not I'll stand by you. The team. 8 years of loyalty. 8 years of defending him when nobody else would. 8 years of burning my reputation to ash. And in the moment I needed him most, when I needed him to say, we fight together, he gave me a political platitude. December 19th, 2024. I withdraw my nomination. 8 days. That's how long my dream lasted. 8 days, from nomination to humiliation. But here's the twisted part. I didn't feel betrayed. I felt relieved. Because in that moment, standing in front of the cameras announcing my withdrawal, I finally understood the game. Loyalty in Trump's world isn't reciprocal. It's transactional. And the transaction is always the same. You give everything. And he takes what he needs until you're no longer useful. The Ethics Committee released their report on December 23rd. Every allegation, every detail, every moment I'd hoped would stay buried. It painted me as exactly what I'd become. A man so desperate for power that he'd sacrificed everything: dignity, decency, truth at the altar of loyalty. My Republican colleagues who'd once praised my courage suddenly had no comment. The same people who'd cheered when I took down McCarthy wouldn't return my calls. Trump posted once, a brief statement. Matt Gaetz fought hard, but sometimes things don't work out. Wish him well. 14 words. That's what 8 years of loyalty earned me. I resigned from Congress on January 3, 2025. My last day in the chamber felt like a funeral mine. The same marble floors I'd walked with such arrogance were now just cold stone beneath my feet. I packed my office in silence. No goodbye party. No farewell speech. Just boxes and memories and the bitter taste of betrayal. But here's where the story gets interesting. Because loyalty is a weapon, remember? And weapons can be pointed in different directions. January 2025. I'm sitting in a studio, not Fox News, not CNN, but OAN. One America News. The MAGA Faithful Network. The lights are hot on my face, and I'm looking directly into the camera. Welcome to the Matt Gaetz Show, I say. And I smile, because I've just learned the most important lesson in modern American politics. You don't need institutions anymore. You don't need the Republican establishment. You don't need the Senate or the Attorney General position or even Congress. You need a camera. You need an audience. You need people who will listen when you speak. Trump built an empire on this truth, and now I'm building mine. My first episode gets 2.3 million views. Conservative media calls it must-watch TV. Liberal media calls it dangerous propaganda. I call it survival. Because here's what I figured out in those dark days after my nomination collapsed. Loyalty to Trump was never the real game. The real game was understanding what Trump understood, that in 21st century America, attention is power. Controversy is currency. And if you can command a camera, you can command an audience. I defend the Proud Boys on air. I question the January 6th prosecutions. I say everything the establishment Republicans won't say. And my audience grows. You're doubling down, a journalist asks me during a rare interview. After everything that happened, you're doubling down on Trump. I lean forward. I'm not doubling down on Trump. I'm doubling down on me. I figured out the game he was playing, and now I'm playing it too. The truth? I'm angrier at Trump than I've ever been at any Democrat. He used me, discarded me, and moved on without a second thought. But I can't show that anger. Because my audience, the millions who watch my show, who comment on my posts, who send donations to my PAC, they're still loyal to Trump. And if I want their loyalty, I have to maintain the fiction. So I praise Trump. I defend Trump. I wrap myself in the MAGA flag and pretend that 8 days in November didn't break something fundamental inside me. This is the loyalty game. And the cruelest irony? I'm still playing it. February 2025. I'm in a green room, waiting to go on air. It's a text from an unknown number. Saw your show. You're doing great things. We should talk. DJT. My heart does that same jump it did 8 years ago. That same desperate hope. That same pathetic need for validation from the man who destroyed me. I stare at the message for 10 seconds. 20. 30. Then I delete it. Not because I've learned my lesson. Not because I've grown, or changed, or become a better person, but because I've learned something more important. In the loyalty game, the only person you can really count on is yourself. I walk onto the set. The lights hit my face. The camera's red light blinks on, and I smile, that same practiced, camera-ready smile I've perfected over 8 years. Good evening, America, I say. Let's talk about loyalty.